Okay, let's talk about Donovan Mitchell. So there have been some conflicting reports on what their plan is. I mean, I saw Woj just be like, yeah, they're not trading him, they're not looking to move him, they're shutting down calls from teams. But then there's also been reports from like Andy Larson, who is a Jazz beat writer, who I would imagine is closer to the Jazz than Woj is, who pushed back a little on that idea. And it's more so they're keeping their options open. They could go either way. If somebody offers an insane haul for the dude, then they would consider moving him. While all this is happening, you've got him on basically a 3-year contract, as the fourth year is a player option that I just assume would be him declining that to go for as much money as possible. So I don't know, dude. What I will say is, if Donovan Mitchell really wanted out, he'd probably get his way. There's also a chance he really likes Utah and he's willing to stay even if it's a little rough. I guess the first thing you think about is who's going to offer a haul for Donovan Mitchell. Well, the two most popular teams for the guy have been the Knicks and the Heat. If I'm Utah, I would personally rather get RJ Barrett than Tyler Hero. I don't know if the Knicks would move Barrett. I'm pretty sure the Heat would trade Tyler Hero. As far as the pick situation, I mean, I just saw on Twitter that somebody put together a trade where Miami sent 5 first-round picks to the Jazz, which I didn't know was possible, given their pick situation, as well as Tyler Hero, as well as other little stuff to make the money work. Hey, listen, you want to throw 5 picks at Danny Ainge? Maybe that'll get you Donovan Mitchell, I don't know. But that's kind of where we're at. Like, who has the guts to just go that in? I mean, if the Jazz just got what they got for Gobert, what do they mean when they say we want a haul for Mitchell, you know? Anyway, after the Heat and the Knicks, I will admit it became a little tougher than I thought it was going to be to find a team that had the right amount of stuff, and also they were kind of like at the right place as a team and whatever. I mean, there's always Toronto. I say them for every potential trade. Like, yeah, if they wanted to go all in with how many good players they have, there could be something there. Obviously, Scotty Barnes would not be in a Donovan Mitchell trade. I mean, I'm sure there are some teams who would love to have him, like Dallas, for example, but I don't think they've got the stuff, you know what I mean? Another one being Charlotte, where they've got the picks, but as far as the players, I'm not sure the Jazz would be super hyped about, Rozier or Hayward or Kelly Oubre. I mean, PJ Washington is one prospect, but that would be kind of it. So I don't know. The other side of these reports, though, is maybe they would look to retool around him. Well, if I was going to look at some other rumors around that idea, there was a little thing about how the Jazz were thinking about DeAndre Ayton. I don't know how real those reports were, but of course, that would have to be a sign and trade. For what it's worth, the Jazz still have good players on the roster between Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, Jared Vanderbilt, Bogdanovich, Clarkson. There could be something there Phoenix would mess with. I don't think it would be number one on my list if I'm the Suns and I'm envisioning my DeAndre Ayton sign and trade team. Other than Ayton, and again, I don't know if there's any like real stuff with the Jazz and Ayton. Like, do I think there are some guys who could be attained this year if you were willing to put in picks? Whether you're the Jazz or not, like, sure, I think the Pacers would move Miles Turner, and if you were desperate to not be horrible defensively after moving Gobert, like, yeah, that would certainly help, but Turner has missed a good amount of games the last couple seasons. I think his offense is pretty much capped out at what it is, and also you're going to have to extend him. He's got 1 year left on his deal. There has been some noise about OG Anunoby. Was that ever real? I don't know. I mean, that would be, like, actually pretty interesting to see OG Anunoby with the Jazz, but you'd probably have to move like a decent amount of those Wolves picks you just got, which is very understandable. You wouldn't want to do that. And also, I still don't really know how real that OG Anunoby stuff has been. Another option, I guess, if you want to keep envisioning this retooling path, it could be John Collins. I mean, there was that quote, 2-3 weeks ago or something, that was just like, yeah, he's out of Atlanta. He hasn't been moved yet, of course, but would you be willing to dip into the T-Wolves picks for him? Now, I understand that Mitchell and Collins is not exactly the foundation of a great defensive team, and also some money would have to be going back to Atlanta, but that's just kind of where I'm at, man. You know, Miles Turner, if those OG reports were real at all, John Collins, like good players who could be attainable. And then once again, that DeAndre Ayton thing. I guess to dive into just what the Jazz have at this point, I mean, there actually is a pathway for them to have cap space in a little bit. You know, Conley's got a partial guarantee. Of course, some of the contracts you got back in the Gobert move are expiring. You know, Beverly and Malik Beasley, Bogdanovich's deal is going to be up soon. Jordan Clarkson becomes more tradable going into this season. You know, his contract's a little shorter now. I guess they could try to play the cap space game if they want to, but that's a scary game because you think that it's going to be awesome, and then free agency comes around and it's like, well, we have cap space. That's cool. The other possibility is the Jazz hoping that some star player is going to want out of their current situation and they will have the picks to send that team's way, and then woohoo, guy with Donovan Mitchell, let's go. Well, as that guy's contract is shortening, Mitchell's is as well. So again, the window here, but also who's that guy? I mean, of course, there's Kevin Durant right now, but I don't think the Jazz have the stuff for him. And when you try to project the next one, I'm not sure there's an obvious candidate.